Hey guys, I wanted to make this video earlier, but I guess I'm about a couple days late or so. But we had the sun moving into Cancer, marking summer solstice 2 days ago on the 21st, and we also had Chiron moving into Taurus on the 19th. So those are the two things I want to talk about. I'm gonna talk about the sun in Cancer summer solstice chart, and that will kind of show us what to expect until fall solstice, when the sun reaches 0 degrees Libra at the fall equinox. And so basically right now the sun has gotten a big new seasonal solar upgrade. Basically, it's a big software update, where the sun's energy is now has regenerated in a very it's like a strong rush of energy of regeneration of the sun. Basically, these when the sun passes through the markers of Cancer and Aries and Libra and Capricorn, summer, winter, fall, and spring, it gets a big solar upgrade. And the sun, so that it's not just the Cancer season that we will feel the sun's vibes through Cancer. We'll feel it the most intensely through this Cancer season, but we will all feel it for the next 3 months. So let's just dive into that. First of all, the sun being in Cancer is a time to now really take care and tend to what matters most and be more in touch with our roots. And the life force of the sun is being directed towards making home and building foundations. And this is basically all going to be through our feelings and our intuition, and through home and family, safety, emotional security, memories of the past, and nurturing personal needs. So for the next 3 months, we want to be conscious of the nests we build to nurture and secure ourselves and our loved ones. And it's important to kind of not take things too personal. Sensitivities will run a little higher because that's what the sign Cancer is kind of about. But sensitivity is also a sign of intuition, but it can also work against us, and we can take things too personally or overthink things. And so there's always a fine line with fear and intuition, and that's something that Cancer definitely battles a lot. They have so much intuition when it relates to the people around them and their emotions and their moods and how to be aware of all that. But as it relates to their personal growth, they're not so intuitive. They're kind of more stuck in the past and more fearful. They don't really listen to their intuition as it relates to their growth more. I'm talking more on a general average basis, typically. Cancerian energy, but it would help to serve them to move forward with trusting the same level of intuition that they have, to understand the emotions and moods around them, to understand their inner spiritual quest and journey and soul's work to move forward towards. But with that said, let's just get into where the aspects that are being made to know what to expect for the next 3 months or so, and especially through Cancer season, to this 0 degree Cancer point. And it is an exact sextile to Chiron in Taurus now, and it is square to Neptune in Aries, and it is sextile to the South Node in Virgo, and trine to the North Node in Pisces. So with the square to Neptune, this is basically, the sun being our spirit, our consciousness, our essence, our character and life force, it's up against a clash right now with the dissolving processes of Neptune and Aries. So it's like more of like the dissolving processes of our identity that needs to be that's elevating a higher sense of self. But Neptune itself can kind of cause complication and confusion and doubt, because Neptune kind of, gives us a little, it's kind of hard to navigate through its fog and read between the lines sometimes with intuition, because it kind of, Neptune kind of has a way of gaslighting our consciousness and making us look over there. It's like, oh, no, wait a minute. Like, just even when we're right on point and we're elevating our growth, and, the dissolution process, the process of the dissolution is what makes us start to doubt our intuition and the long entanglement and burden it takes to go through the dissolving process. Neptune's a very slow-moving energy. So it's clashing with our spirit and our consciousness and our general overriding nature in Cancer, which wants to kind of stick to the familiar. So that is a point of tension that we may need to understand, that we will probably be feeling through the next 3 months. And the sextile to the South Node in Virgo, this is really giving us clear dialogue with our past karma and the things that are exhausting us and keeping us stuck, and allowing the trine to move. So the Sun and the North Node, the trine here in Pisces, is really helping us to have direction of flow towards the higher consciousness of Pisces, the elevated higher love that we want to reach through this an all-encompassing, universalizing way of Pisces. And the sense of higher purpose, its competency and groundedness will flourish with this during this summer. We will really kind of have a good idea of to close out the node transit of Virgo Pisces with clear dialogue and with harmony and plenty of opportunity to hop on the timelines that we want to hop on and have clear direction. And so that's really good. So and another harmonizing aspect is the Sun in sextile to Chiron, which just moved in. And this is, again, giving us clear dialogue with, the wounds and the pain and the trauma that we need to work on. And Chiron in Taurus, it's very much going to be about healing financial burdens and material security. I can tell you that much. We're already really much feeling that. And unlocking some of Earth's abundant resources and really finding salvation from false value systems. So that's where we are consciously getting clear dialogue from, for over the next 3 months, as with Chiron and Taurus sextiling this solstice Sun in Cancer point, summer solstice Sun in Cancer point. I do want to dive more into Chiron, but also, Mercury and Jupiter are still in Cancer, so that's still in resonance, even though it's a very far orb to this. But Mercury and Jupiter in Cancer. So Mercury is how we think, and Jupiter is how we see. So the way we think and the way we see are going to be aligned, and that's going to be very helpful. That our thoughts will instantly expand, and our awareness and our thoughts of Mercury will instantly be visual and expansive with knowledge of Jupiter, and we will be able to align our thoughts with what we see and visualize and expand on, and our hopes and our expectations that are Jupiter, and like I said, all the things related to Cancer: home, family, feelings, intuition, safety, memories of the past, nurturing all the personal needs stuff like that. So yeah, very good. I see that most of the energies here are harmonious and a little more easy, except for the Sun square to Neptune is a little complicated. But that what it is, it's trying to drive us, our willpower to go through the long, slow, heavy, burdensome process of Neptune's energy to reach a higher level. And that's related to our identity. And with the Sun, it's related, the Sun in Cancer, it's also related to our soul. So that's something that we will be experiencing for sure. And just, Chiron in Taurus, it moved in on the 19th, and it will retrograde back into Aries on September 17th. So it's kind of giving us a sneak peek, of its journey before we wrap up the 8-year-long journey of Chiron in Aries, which was very much about confronting wounds, pain, and trauma that had to do with our identity and our ego, our attitudes and self-confidence. And now the shift is towards our sense of self-worth and self-esteem and personal and collective values and financial security needs and burdens and material needs and burdens, which we're all feeling very much with the way prices are for everything, gas, food, cost of living, you name it. It's, we're definitely feeling the burdens, and we definitely need to heal that. But this is also tying to things related to the earth and nature and the healing of earth and nature. So we're embarking on a journey to, become more adequate, stable, content, at peace within our own convictions and values. But we're also healing our trust in nature and the earth to provide for personal material needs and abundance of earth's nurturing. And I feel like we may stop using up, wasting, and destroying this planet's natural resources for material gain and power once we get through this transit. And I also kind of feel like this transit of Chiron and Taurus will really be feeling how broken the value systems are that we are all living under collectively, and the wounds they have on us are the wounds that they have on us, and the precious time spent in this life that we are living. We will really see just how broken this value system is. And for that reason, I feel like Chiron in Taurus is going to, it should have us learning and healing to stand our ground and take back our fundamental birthrights and sovereignty. I really do. I think that it's going to be and it will be in a more peaceful non-compliance way, a more peaceful, obstinate way, a stubborn, obstinate way that Taurus is. And that's, I like I said, that's pretty ideal to say that. But I mean, I do think that there will be a movement in, getting the earth back together and unlocking Earth's abundant resources and finding the salvation through the false value systems, healing all the financial material burdens that we are going through. But it's also, like I said, it's our sense of self-worth and our self-esteem, our values, our convictions. We want to feel truly adequate and stable, not inadequate and unstable, which, is definitely, it is growing. And this is why we got to heal. This is why Chiron is here, to address the problem, address the wound, address the pain, the trauma, and move through it.